Welcome to Digital Discourse. Welcome to Digital Discourse. Yeah.
All right, back with another episode. You see who we have today. A man who's at the forefront of the youth activism and out here in the streets looking out for the youngins. Rapper, Young E-Class. How you doing today, man?
What's up? What's up?
I appreciate you for coming through.
No question, man. No question, man. I appreciate you for having me.
Of course. I've been wanting to talk to you for a minute, ever since I heard about you. I like what you're doing. I love, especially black men out here, like really trying to put some work in. It's a lot of like lost souls out here and like misguided youth, and you at the forefront. So I appreciate that. I respect you for that. I guess we'll start like at the beginning of your story, like who you are now kind of came from your time that you spent in jail. You got charged at 15.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't detail the jail things. I don't even got to go into certain questions, but I do want to know just what's your take on how you feel about kids being charged as adults in general. You think that should even be a thing?
Honestly, it shouldn't be. Because you putting kids in an environment an environment with adults. Like you putting them in a situation where no matter what they did, you putting them with adults that did what they did, but the thinking is different. So whether they create something because I understand the why, because it's like, all right, if these kids doing adult crimes, they should, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, it need to be a middle created where as though, because it's help that's really needed, but it still need to be like a middle created where as though youngins, they not going to an adult facility, but they not going to a juvenile facility if they feel they shouldn't be amongst the juveniles. It should be like something created in the middle for real.
Do you think like the effect it has on the child who's placed in that adult environment? You think?
Yeah, it turns them. It turns them to a monster. Like everybody is not fortunate like I was. That environment, like you sending a kid there who's still mentally grown, who's still developing, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and you putting them in a cage with some of the most vicious, people that's walking the face of the earth for real. So they either gonna get worse or they gonna get better. We can't take that gamble. Yeah, I got better, but what if I would have got worse and did my time and came home, and you know what I'm saying? So
and it's more likely that they probably gonna get worse.
Yeah, because the system ain't designed for you for it to really rehabilitate you. It's a warehouse for real. So it's like you putting them youngers in there with people that's gonna be able to outthink them all the time and shit. So it's like it's fucked up, because I seen a lot of youngins that came in during the time I came in, before me and after me. Like a lot of them ain't make it. Like it's a real mental game in there, and you're not even supposed to be developed that advanced to be able to handle that. That ain't even how life's supposed to work for a child.
Yeah, that's a good perspective. The fact that you say they can outthink them all the time, they probably got no chance. They can't see nothing coming.
Yeah, I just so happened to run into some real individuals, like like the call I got before we started, like some real individuals that like raised me like their little brother. Some older guys that raised me like they son, but a lot of people ain't gonna get to run into that.
Damn. What do you think of some of the major factors that even got you in that position?
The lack of love, lack of attention, lack of male positive role models, the lack of push, the lack of force, like is the lack of so many things for real. Because like they said, take a village to raise a child. So it ain't even about the parent, because the parent's supposed to be providing and different things of that nature. It takes the whole neighborhood. It takes all the family to be involved in every child. So it's like it's certain things that I was neglected in growing up. Not using it as an excuse, but that's what shaped me, and that's what created the circumstances for me to succumb to and shit.
That makes sense. And I don't even think that's an excuse. I think it's valid reasons. Like you a kid who can't think and develop properly, and you don't got nothing to keep you going, just you.
You ain't like you get like being in a situation where you get treated a certain way because your father was a certain way, or you get treated a certain way because your mother was a certain way. like it don't got nothing to do with the kid, but they still get treated that way. You know what I'm saying? Like if one of the parents was a drug addict or like for whatever reason they don't like the parent, you know, they currying the kid as well, and the kid gonna feel the ramifications of that shit. So that shit, some kids turn like it's the same thing with the prison. Some kids turn into monsters, some kids don't. And I just so happen to be one of the ones that turn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's deep. How do you feel like the inner city school system? Because it's definitely different. Like when I think I heard you talk about like the difference between how many like one teacher to 40 kids as opposed to one in 12.
Man, it's the school system now is way different than from when I was growing up, because you got like public charter schools, you got KIPP, you got DC preps, and you know, with my son going to DC prep, is I like the situation, but I wouldn't even pinpoint it. It's before the school even start.
Okay.
Like this shit, cause we came to school with that energy. Like we was already turned up before, you know what I'm saying, before school started.
Yeah.
It's like it's the house, it's the family, it's the neighborhood you might run around before you start school. Cause like I grew up we grew up in communities like before the gentrification shit. Like I knew everybody on my street. Everybody on my street knew me, my mother, my father, my grandmother, my cousins, like to the point they might call you by your last name. So like the energy that we pulled in from that, we took that to school with us or whatever.
Okay.
And teachers ain't equipped to deal with us. Like I don't give a fuck if it's if it's 3 students to 1 teacher. They not equipped to deal with the shit we bringing in these schools. Like I'm in 3rd grade, pocket knife. They like, why you got a knife? Like we beefing. They don't understand that. Like I remember my teacher in 3rd grade, Miss Raff. I was going to Ruth K. Webb, and I got caught with a knife, and she was really baffled. She was like, "Why do you have a knife? Like, is your life in danger?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she like, "How? You fucking whatever age you is, you in 3rd grade." But she lived. I think what was Miss Raff from, like Utah or some motherfucker with. So she was. She was actually one of the people that, as I grew older, that I think about that helped me not be a certain way, because the impact she had on my life, like she introduced me to her parents. She wanted to take me on trips. She wanted to take me to her hometown because she just was shocked that a kid had to carry a pocket knife because he was, you know what I'm saying, protecting his life. And that's something that a 3rd grader should never have to think about. So that's what I'm saying. Like the teachers, they ain't equipped to deal with, you know what I'm saying, youngest coming in there with that type of energy.
Now that's a lot. And I was talking, I had 3-0 on here maybe a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about now that he got a son, his heart then got bigger and he feel more. And I was saying I do the same thing, and you just made me think about, I was on U Street this one time, and it was this kid, he had to be like in 3rd grade, he had to be like, he was about this high, and he had a hammer, and he was really like, he was like talking shit, cussing it. And normally I would laugh and shit and just like, this little badass kid, I get it. You know, he probably from down the street or something. But I just felt so bad. Like, damn, this boy. And I knew he was serious. I knew he really felt like he needed that hammer. Yeah. And that shit just really got me that day.
It's real. Cause I be, like when I look at kids, like I got a friend, she got 3 kids. No, she got 2 kids. And when I look at her kids, they real kids, like how you supposed to be when you're 5, 6, and 7, and 8. So that's so foreign to me, but I love to see it. Like they never been on the metro bus before. They never been in a fight. They don't know what it's like to like go without, and like they're happy. They don't even, like when you cuss, they look at you like, oh, we don't supposed to be cussing, like them type of kids. Then you got us when we was a kid, like it's just different. And you, like you said, shorty with the hammer, like it's still kids that's growing up like that, because it's still kids that's in environments that's fucked up. No food in the refrigerator, parents on drugs, parents tricking, and the kids saying all that shit. So like people, like a lot of times you grow up, you start getting money, or you get in a situation where you're fortunate, you might, you know, move or whatever, and you might be like, damn, if all these things was available when I was a kid, I'd be different. why are these kids not different? But they forgot it. Though those things are available, it's not accessible to those kids that we talking about. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Yeah.
like it was things that was available when we was a kids that wasn't accessible to us. That's why we turned out the way that we did. So I think people be forgetting. I was once one of them that forgot that, and it's still like you see how they changed 8th Street, but when you keep going up 8th Street and then turn to Bennett Road, it's back to the old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It look everything with that shit look like how it looked in the fucking early 2000s and the 90s. That shit ain't gentrified yet. So it's like there's people still living like that. Like that's yeah.
Nah, that makes sense. A lot of that makes sense. How important do you think it is for a boy to feel love from a man, like when he's a child?
Man, that's important. That's super important because it's you gonna know how to receive it. You gonna know how to give it out. You gonna know when it's necessary. You gonna know when it's not necessary. Because if when you're a boy and you don't feel no love from any men in your life, like you could put yourself in a trick bag when it come to women. When it comes to other men, you could put your loyalty on the line. You're not gonna understand what love is, and there's a void that's gonna be left in you that could get sucked up by drugs, gambling, the streets, women, getting used up, like not feeling genuine love. I'm talking about real love from when you know, like if you call this person, they got you, or that person might could feel when you need. Like I ain't talking about material. Like they might just hit you like, "What's up?" and they don't even know what you just went through. And you a kid, you don't even know how to express it. But when you feel that, as you navigate through life, you're going to know what's genuine, you're going to know what's real, and it's harder to get used up, and it's harder to get put in that trick bag and shit.
No, makes sense. Makes sense. That's a good answer. All right, going back to when you got charged and you went to jail. During that time, did you go to trial? Like, did you have like a whole thing, or you took a plea? How'd that work?
Yeah, I had I went to trial twice. I ain't taking no pleas,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
even as a youngin', I knew the law. I knew not the law, but I knew the law that we live by. Like I ain't talking to no police. We ain't taking no pleas, none of that. I had a lawyer, but yeah, I went to trial. Trial was it was
You had a public defender, or you had like a
hell
paid
no. I had
lawyer?
a paid lawyer. I
Okay.
ain't getting no.
Because I want to know what that like. Like,
Yeah,
is the,
yeah. You
do the
get it.
public defenders like even try? Like, is that like a?
All right, so I had a public defender before when I was a juvenile. I caught my first charge when I was 11, armed robbery charge, and I had a public defender, and I got railroaded. That's why, and I ain't talking like a lot of people talk paid lawyer talk, so they think you supposed to get in. They don't really. They associate having a paid lawyer with you having money or making money or some shit. I ain't even on that. I just know that when I had a paid lawyer when I was 11. What I copped out to wasn't even my charge. You feel what I'm saying? So, but I'm a kid. My mother ain't know shit about it. I ain't know shit about it. And we just was trying to go home. So he like, look, cop out to this and you gonna get house arrest, but you gonna be home. I was like, bet. But whole time, what I copped out to, I didn't even, not only didn't I do it, it wasn't even my fucking charge. So it's like, this nigga, I don't know what the fuck this nigga was looking. It wasn't even my fucking charge. So I understand. Currying from that, I knew not to get no public defender, because a public defender, he's for the public. He's for the people that don't have money. They got hundreds of cases, so you just really a case to them. Like you
got to get to the next
yeah,
one.
they just you just a caseload. Like to a paid lawyer. I'm not saying paid lawyers don't railroad nobody, but a paid lawyer cares about his name and his reputation. And I had a big case, so his name is on the line. So they try and fight. Then you could end up building a relationship with a paid lawyer, because my paid lawyer, he used to represent my cousin as well. So he knew my family, and yeah, he was in there rumbling. He was my lawyer all the way throughout the time I was incarcerated, because I caught charges while I was locked up as well. He was my lawyer through everything.
And how easy is that to avoid catching additional charges once you're in there?
How easy is it to avoid?
How hard is it to avoid?
Man, it depends on how you living in there, because you could come in there and not be on nothing. But I was active in there. I was yeah. So it's like it is on the street, man.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's more harder to avoid than that because ain't no leaving. You right there with the person that, like even the football game, like it's football season. Like I've really seen a Cowboy fan kill a Redskin fan arguing over the game.
That's
Like
crazy.
yeah, like I seen situations where dudes was about to go home, dudes ain't make it home. Like is like the value of life in it is small. Like people really, that's not gonna stop a person from doing something if they thinking about killing you or them getting killed. They the value of life is minute.
Dang. When you in there, I was watching an interview and you was talking about your mom was really the one holding you down in there. She was consistently hitting you up. What is it like for the people who not getting no calls?
Oh, it's tough. It's tough because that's it's back. It's a lack of love, and if you feel a lack of love, then you'll lay your life down easily, and you'll not care. You'll put yourself in a situation where you got to kill or you get killed over something stupid. Like that could change a lot of things, but you don't got nothing to lose for real, for real. Mm-hmm. And it's like you more open to prison politics. You more open to Tom and fucking being a damn as fucking CO. You more susceptible to joining a gang, or just being in everybody else fucking business and shit, and get your head chopped off for that shit. Like you just. It puts you in prison completely, and you become
that's a good way.
You become a part of it. Like when you got people that's repping for you on the outside, like you like that's the reason why I never got cold hearted. Like it's some individuals I know that like you got the grills in there, whereas though the CO got open with the key, let you through it. You got some people that just stand there because they don't talk to police, they don't talk to no COs. They like. And so I might be behind like, niggas, you gonna call the CO because I'm not trying to stand right here. But you got some people that's that cold hearted though, and make more power to them. But I'm not getting like that. I'm not that nigga. I'm gonna call the CO to let me out the fucking grill. And you got some people that's just dark hearted. They get cold in that jump. They can't feel. And yeah, my mother was the reason why I never reached that point.
Mm-hmm. Good. Shout out to her. For the people who on the outside, they got men on the inside. What's like the most important thing that they could do?
Pictures. Like honestly, like it's simple. Like pictures. Nah, I gotta send my man some pictures. I just talked to him earlier. Pictures. Then if you wanna jazz it up some, send a letter, like a handwritten letter. Cause I could count on my hands how many letters I got from my men, and it'd be shocking. Like I remember one of my cousins, like he one of them dudes that he from the South Side, and he a South Side nigga. That nigga outside. Mm-hmm. And when he wrote me, I was like, damn, like I didn't even know this nigga knew how to write. Like, so when he wrote me, and it wasn't a lie. It was like a paragraph, but I cherished that shit because I know
he put the effort.
Yeah, you gotta find paper, get it something to write with, envelope, stamp, mailbox. That's a lot of steps to do for a nigga that ain't never do none of that shit in school. So like that's the simplest things that shit could go along. That could hold a nigga for years. Mm-hmm. Like a motherfucker could look at them pictures, reread the letter. Like we be in there picturing like the mind, like when he wrote, like I'm in my mind thinking like him when he wrote the letter, like damn, I gotta write this letter for Elmo and shit. Like sitting there thinking, trying to write some shit down, don't know what the fuck to say. Like I'm picturing that shit. Like that shit take you, like it create a movie, and like that's like if you really love a nigga and you rock with him, like. Even if you can't do it and you got women in your life, ask them to do it and shit. But them pictures take it, that's important, man. And it's small. It's small, but
pictures
it's important.
And letters. Okay. When you was locked up, what's something that happened out here on the outside that you wish you could have saw while you was on the inside? And it don't gotta be nothing deep. It could be, or it could be something fun.
The evolution of the rap scene in our area.
Okay.
Cause I was rapping before like they was cool. Like I was rapping when I was young. Like 01, 02, 03. So like to see that happen, I was like, wow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then like dudes I know doing it. So I'm calling out there like, nigga, when the fuck you start rapping? Shit like that. So it's like
What specific parts of it?
all
Like
of it.
specific rappers.
Man, all of it, like from Wale Rise to Light Show Rise to Fat Trail Rise, like and that side, like you know, Slutty Boys, I'm Northeast Trail, like that's the side I grew up on.
Okay.
So it's like to see that was like damn, like niggas doing like and people like it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like and people is fucking with it. Cause I remember when I used to do it, people like, fuck you from New York, nigga. Like
Yeah.
they ain't never really like it was about go-go. It was about bands.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's something I wish. Like how you said when you asked about Slim
Yeah.
and you talked about the clique he used to rap with, and
Yeah.
I was like, man, I was locked up for that.
Yeah.
Like I missed all that shit. I don't understand it like y'all do. Like there's a thread going on Twitter right now, and they talking about like the music from like 2009, 2010, 2011. They showing all these videos, and people is talking about how that shit made them feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like I ain't get to experience that. I get to listen to it now, but I don't get the same feeling as when it was going on.
Yeah, and it's probably harder to listen because the quality ain't good.
Yeah, it's because it's shit so advanced now, and that shit is a little, you know what I'm saying. But I understand it, but it's just I ain't get that feeling.
Nah, I
And,
get it.
whether being a fan or if I would have been active in music, one way or another, I still would have got to feel that shit.
Okay. Is there anything deep that you feel like you wish you could have been a part of if you was on the outside?
And probably when Obama was running for the office.
Okay.
Cause I called home and there's niggas I know that street niggas. Them niggas was helping motherfuckers with the vote and shit. Like I called him my man, he like, yeah, I'm going door to door to see if the elderly people could get the vote. And I'm like, what? Voting for what? Like, what the fuck is you doing, nigga? Like that shit had me like, damn, Slim, like this shit affecting people. Like, and also, like, I went in at 15, so now we in our 20s. So my mind's still on how we was when we was young.
Mm-hmm.
Them niggas older now. It's a little different. Not saying they not still, active, but it's like times has changed. And like to call home and a nigga I know, he one of them. He out there checking if the elderly people could vote because they trying to make sure Obama get all the votes. That was something big.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. I wasn't expecting you to say that. What's one of the skills you think that you took from the streets that you now can put into business?
That guerrilla marketing shit that like, cause I look at it like selling drugs. Like, if it ain't no dope strip, like dope strips is like shops that set up. Is an organized shop. But when you selling coke or when you selling crack or when you selling weed, it's like the best hustler gonna get the sales. So niggas might be hustling right here on the avenue. So you go up a little bit by the trash can to try to catch the sales before they get here. You gotta think of elaborate ways to sell, whether it be the type of bags you use, the type of how you might be nice as shit, or the testers you give out, or if you know what I'm saying, shit like that. And I do that with when it comes to content, when it comes to just always grinding and always trying to give you the same product that everybody else giving you, but give it to you wrapped up a little different and push it in your face a little more.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I meant to ask you this earlier when we was on the public defender part. Like, what would be some legal tips to somebody who ain't had that first experience? Like, that's their first time they on trial and they don't really know what to do. With some
Man,
simple
before
advice.
you get to trial, it's steps before you get to trial. Like, for one, don't say nothing to the police. And a lot of people say that because we talking like being hard or being street. It don't have shit to do with that. It's the fact that they tell you that this will be used against you in the court of law. Nothing you say to them is going to help you. Everything they take from you is something that they're trying to use against you. So a lot of people get locked up and get confused thinking, damn, if I talk my way out of this, I won't go to jail. Like, nigga, you still going to jail no matter what the fuck you say, right or wrong. getting out of jail is the judge. It don't got nothing to do with the police. That's the first step. A lot of dudes hang themselves by saying too much or putting themselves in a situation or giving evidence or giving them ammunition to for it to go to trial, for them to get indicted. Then you got your preliminary hearings and different things like that. Like that's the importance of a lawyer, because even if you got the like when you're in a detention center, your access to legal shit is slim. So you got to have a good lawyer that's going to be fighting on your behalf to make sure the state give all the evidence and certain things is done on time. And if you want to get a speedy trial, because it's time limits for everything to be filed, so you got to make sure you're on top of all that shit. And then when you if you make it to trial, if you don't take no cop, and if you do make it to trial, it's like just it's just about having a good lawyer that you could tell the truth to, and he could shape it how he need to shape it so y'all could beat the case and shit. Because a lot of times motherfuckers can't trust their lawyer, don't want to tell their lawyer shit because they feel like their lawyer might be working with the state. You don't want none. You want a situation where as though you could tell your lawyer like, look, I did it. Let's paint a picture that I didn't do it, or let's paint a picture that they can't prove that I did it. Because the courtroom ain't about who did it and who didn't do it. It's just about who could prove it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, now that makes sense. Don't tell on yourself.
Yeah.
And with the main cases that's like in the public right now, like the YSL jump, the Dolph jump, I guess that's kind of a wrap for real. Like the main thing is just like it just seemed like everybody telling us that just what
they
it
make
is now.
they make it so much easier, but you gotta see like why they telling though. Like sometimes people, even though it's not no excuse, but they like Shorty said, they supposed to gave me 40 bands, they gave me $800. Fuck that, I'm telling. So that go back to your character. Like if you do something with somebody, you promise somebody something and you don't come through, that nigga might kill you or he might tell on you. Like it just puts you in a situation where as though like some people feel like they don't got no out. So they know you go hard and they might not go as hard as you. So they might be like, fuck it, I can't harm you. I'm gonna tell on your ass. You know what I'm saying? And they think the state gonna or the police gonna protect them, and they not, cause you see a lot of snitches get killed or they family get killed. And the part about snitching that people don't think about is the fact that when you tell, like you putting your whole family at risk. You know what I'm saying? You putting people that love you at risk, because like sometimes niggas be wiping their ass out. And it's a dangerous game. But it's like hey, they make the state case for them. Like the state don't even gotta provide the burden. They got you telling. So yeah, don't like, I always tell my youngest like, if you ain't snatched up yet, if you ain't in no indictment, man, you get out, man, get out. Cause you see what's going on. Like niggas is, it used to be rare that niggas told. Like that used to be like, now is that shit, motherfuckers, that you keep scrolling. Like that shit don't even do shit for you.
All right, moving on from that, going on to the music. What you feel like is your main thing that gets you the eyes on you? Like what's your best asset?
One is, I know it's the story. A lot of people is attracted to my story. And you got some people that just love the story. You got some people that want to see me win. You got some people that just want to see it play out. Then when you get to the music, it's just because I don't sound like nobody. I don't sound like nobody. And I ain't really rapping about the exact same thing that other people rapping about. Like how me and another person may be rapping about the streets, but I'm also rapping about the feeling of, the emotions behind, the pain, the empathy, the sorrow. Like I'm tapping into the emotions of it, the feelings of it, the passion and things of that nature. Even if it's about money or about jewelry, like I'm more so rapping about the passion that come with the topic that I'm talking about.
I feel that.
Yeah, and the deliverables is it's just little unique because of my lived experience. So it's like other people may have went to prison, but did they go at 15? And if they did go at 15, did they stay in there for 13 years? Or did they go to the cut? Did they go to, you know what I'm saying? So I was the only nigga in that jail that young. So like my experience is just different. So my music is just, shaped a little different.
That makes sense. And I know you a Pac fan.
Yeah.
When do you think was the shift? Because like back then, like Pac and how like NWA and all them, they was rapping the street shit, but it wasn't like it was like this our experience, and we going somewhere with it. Now it's like this my experience, and I'm gonna keep talking about it like I'm actively live doing it to
I mean,
keep me.
because 9 times out of 10, the newer artists are they're still in it. Like, cause back then, like you'll have a rapper, the whole neighborhood get behind them, they push them out. Now, like the niggas that normally got behind the rapper, they're rapping now. Like the dope boys rapping, the basketball players rapping, like everybody is rapping now. So it's like they still in it, and they is you can't really rap past what your experience is. If you faking or something, but it's hard to fake some shit that you never experienced and shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like some people did it, but they was able to witness that shit. So it's like a lot of rappers, a lot of artists. That's why you see now so many artists getting killed, going to jail, because they're not too far from removed from the shit.
That makes sense. That actually makes perfect sense. All right, and the last thing I got for you, well, I got one more after this. You married now. A lot of men don't even feel like it's beneficial. Like, what's your take on being married? How you feel like it affects your life?
Man, I think it made my life better because I made that transition from like being active to not. But for a minute, I ain't know what the fuck I was doing because I don't got no examples in my life of people making that transition. Like, so I was just floating for real. And then what I'm saying, when I met her, she don't come from the world I come from, so she seen me floating, and she what I'm saying, it's like she built a plane around me, and we took off and shit for real.
That's a fire analogy. That's fire.
Nah. So we nah, but I understand how people could look at marriage and because the times has changed, because back in the day marriage was tied to religion, and now like people religion is different. Everybody not under the same religion. Some people free thinkers, free spirit. Like we're in a world where you could believe and do whatever the fuck you want. So when you take that out to play, like what are you getting married under? What is your foundation for your marriage if it ain't coming from religion or a family background? So, cause me, I honestly don't even know how I got to the step of marriage. It's just, it was a feeling. The feeling guided me to do that shit. Like if you was to ask me like how or why or what, I'd be like, nigga, I don't fucking know. It's just, I just followed the flow and shit for real. So, niggas been hitting me up like, bruh, what the fuck? Like even Flock hit me. He was like, yeah, why you ain't invite me to your wedding? I'm like, why the fuck would I think you want to come to my wedding and shit? He like, bruh, I want to see that shit. He said, I don't know nobody that's married that's like us. He said his peoples got married, but he was locked up. But he was like, but he ain't like us. He like, I don't know nobody like us that's married, got married, used to be married, getting married. So when he told me that, I started getting messages from niggas that's just like, bruh, I think I'm gonna settle down type shit. So it was like, I was like, damn, I ain't fucking. So that's why, like, what I'm saying, we be posting. We got the page now because it's like, all right, let's show that this shit real, this shit is possible, and the shit powerful. Because when you look at all the most powerful niggas in the world, them niggas is married, like for real. So it's like that shit means something. That shit holds something, and it ain't just like the nigga is here. Them niggas' wives is here. Like my wife, she lit. You feel what I'm saying? Like she be doing the shit with or without a nigga, but we just make each other better.
Nah, it definitely is a part of the package, and that's funny you say that because part of my mental shift to even go in that direction to try to even think about settling down was like every billionaire got a wife, like every millionaire got a wife. Like even if they ain't really on that kind of time, there's something about it. About just being stable, that adds to the whole package.
Yeah, cause cause I think I be looking back now at the things that I got accomplished in such a short time that I was with her, and I was wondering like, how the fuck I ain't been do this shit. But when you ripping and running, that shit take a lot of time, a lot of energy. You dealing with different energies and people pulling and taking from you. You taking from different people. Like so many people got access to call you now. And when that changed, like you got to focus. You got a focus now. You got time to sit down and attack things and do things, and then you got a person with you that's organizing these attacks. Like, young, finish the album, make sure you do that community event, don't forget you got this. So now it's just shit organized and we attacking it and we making that shit happen.
Okay, that makes sense, man. I'm happy that you got that going on. Look like it's all working from outside looking in.
Yeah,
so
man, and for it is not easy. It's not an easy task. The shit is a wrestling match every day. but when you outside, like when you looking at wrestling, like you love it, whether it's real or fake. Like a fan of wrestling love that shit. But inside of it, when they tell you like, yeah, I broke my ribs from jumping through the table and all that, that's the merge and shit. But they love it too and shit, no matter what the fight is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But the last thing I got for you is if you could give advice to that third grade E class that had the pocket knife, what would you say to them?
Honest, I just tell them everything will be alright. I tell him to take a lot of pictures with his mother. I make sure he take a lot of pictures with his mother, and cherish the friendships while you got them. Like all that, not speaking or not doing something because you're like, I'm gonna see him tomorrow. Don't do that, cause like me now, I lost all my friends. I'm the only living nigga out of my clique. So it's like that shit is important. I wish I had more pictures with niggas, more pictures with my mother and shit like that. When it comes to the life part, that gotta be all that stuff, all the trials and tribulations, the struggle for survival, all that shit gotta come for me to be who I am today. Like if you change any of that shit, I wouldn't be this. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the experiences in the life with people. I speak to them on that.
That's deep. That's a good ass answer. That's deep. All right. Well, I appreciate you for coming through, man. That's all I got for you. Anything you want to leave off on?
And man, just everybody just be consistent, man. Be consistent in what you do, and love what you do. And if you don't got it, find it, man. Freedom, man. If you got people in the junk, write them a letter, send them some pictures. You can use Shutterfly, free prints on your phone. And holler at me. I'll holler back.